So what I'm doing is I'm talking about my website. It's called iPodPhysics.com, and I wanted to give a quick rundown of what's available to you at iPod Physics. Now, this menu bar at the top is constantly changing. These are actually things that I'm currently working on and are not completely finished with. I'm not terribly happy with the results yet. The important stuff, and this area right here is actually going to be occupied soon. It's kind of a work in progress. Like all things, that you're passionate about, it always seems to be a work in progress. But the important stuff lies over here. The first, I have a group of free ebooks. I found one on issue titled the People's Physics Book. There's all sorts of links to it. Then there's some other books in here. Okay, they're all free, by the way. You can pull them up from my website, or you can go to issue.com. Great website for that kind of stuff. But here are my four types of classes that I teach. I teach Advanced Placement Physics, B. I don't teach the S classes. International Baccalaureate Physics, the SL, not the HL. Honors, which is our college prep. And Traditional. Now I'm going to talk primarily about these three. Now in the Advanced Placement, if you open that up, you see that I have my syllabus linked here. There's this big open space for announcements. Now, there's really not that much to talk about right now, but that's where my announcements goes for the classes. Here are all the topics that I cover. There's a couple here that are kind of funny looking. I just haven't got around to fixing them yet. But you can see we go from all the way from units to quantum and modern. Okay, there's a little bit of nuclear in there too. But these are all the topics that we cover in AP Physics. Now, if you go in and you examine one, let's do contact forces. Okay, so contact forces has a couple of things. There's a direct link to my YouTube page from here. I used to have a forum. I've taken it off. I found that kids didn't really use it effectively, so I didn't think it was all that important. Link to some student projects that are involved with this. I think that link is actually dead. I don't think there's anything there right now. A link to a pretest. I use ClassMarker for my pretesting software. Great website. I just wish they would go back to being free for all those testing, but what are you going to do about it? And then all of these different little tabs. Now, the color tabs here, like this one right here, if you go to like forces at a distance, this is red. It's just a way of keeping them separated. But all the color tabs take you to a different page. Okay, so I'm clicking here on normal. There's an explanation of normal. Okay, cool. In addition, there's also me and a video talking about normal forces, how it gets defined as normal, how it how we calculate it, that sort of stuff. Now, I've done it this way because I find that kids are different. That some kids need text and some kids need audio. And I think that's kind of a shortcoming of all online classes, is that they really haven't addressed the fact that we have different kinds of kids. Okay. In addition, all of these take you go to tension. There's a brief thing on tension. It's not all that complicated. Friction, it's a little more involved. Static and kinetic. But the next thing, so spring force, another reactionary force. If you click on the PhET assignment here, it's about masses and springs, and the PhET is an online simulation. It's offered by the CU Boulder. There's some noise. You can hang masses, and you can see that it stretches these virtual springs. You can bring in a virtual ruler and you can do some measurements, and you can see all sorts of great things about it. PhET, by the way, is 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay, so I have it linked to my website, so you can go in there and you can do the PhET assignment. Now, the worksheet for the PhET assignment is right over here. That walks you through the procedure for this virtual lab. Okay. Air drag, another PhET assignment on air drag, applied forces, and then I have a link here to a lab. You click on that lab, it actually gives you the lab breakdown, purpose, procedure, the breakdown of it. This is where I've got this lab information from. As a matter of fact, if you click on that, it takes you right back to their web page. I give full credit to everybody. And then if you click on the lab page, see, it takes me to the wrong place. The lab page actually takes you back. Let me see if this one does. That takes you to the wrong place. It takes you to a place where you can calculate uncertainties, percent error, that sort of stuff. Cool? The other thing that we have going on in Contact Force is that I have the built-in homework assignment. So a kid that enrolls in my class has every homework assignment that he's ever going to have for the entire year already posted for him. Okay. Now I can eventually go back in there and make changes, and I am doing that right now. I just made a big change to Forces at a Distance. Most of my kids aren't there yet, so it's not really that big a deal. The other thing is, and I don't want to go to this one, I want to go to a different website or a different page, One-Dimensional Kinematics, because it's a little bit better. So the other thing that you'll find, so there's that problem set, and here's some lab pages, and this one doesn't have a FED assignment, but nevertheless, what I wanted to go to is if I click on that, I got my homework assignments. And at the very bottom, the very last thing I asked them to do is solve some word problems. Well, as the semester progresses, each one of my kids are required, in order to get an A in my class, to do video. A 10-minute discussion. Some of these videos are obviously not going to be 10, but a total of 10 minutes, either solving problems or talking about a concept. So what ends up happening is these videos end up going on YouTube. I don't show any faces. All you get to do is see hands. They end up going on YouTube, and they offer up a tutorial to the students that haven't done the homework yet. So some of my advanced students that have moved on through one-dimensional kinematics and have solved this problem and shot the video, when my less advanced students come through, they can get virtual tutoring on how to solve those problems from my students. Now the other cool thing about it, and I don't have it linked here, but it's on my YouTube channel, is I have some of them done in different languages. I have a whole bunch of kids from other places that speak all sorts of different languages, so they end up shooting video in their native tongue, which I think is kind of important. Cool. What else do I have in here? Oh, let's go on. So if you go click on honors, you see much of the same thing, except for I do have options. So once the kids have gotten through all the material for first and second semester, I ask them to do an option. Okay? So they can go on and they can explore something else they want that they're interested in. Now, see, like rotational inertia will be removed, two-dimensional kinematics will be removed, inertia will be removed. Some of these things are a little bit out of order, but nevertheless, that's what's going on there. Now, in IB, here, it's the same thing. Now, you can obviously see that there's a lot more announcements. We have a pretty active IB program here at George Washington. So you can see, here's a couple of things that I've gotten from our coordinator. I've put in a calendar. You can see it's pretty much blank. Some IB notes, another website I found, IB, what is it called? ibphysicsstuff.wiki.com. A great little website. Links on design labs, links on syllabus. But it's all broken up. So here's first semester, here's second semester, and here's the options. And as the semester progresses, I'm hoping to add more options like astrophysics and stuff like that, so that all of the options in the IB program is available to you. But that's what SL Physics looks like. The traditional, like I said, I really don't want to go into it. It's a work in progress, and I'm going to be making some major changes in that later. The other really cool thing is if you click on this right here, it takes you back to another website that links to all of the other George Washington websites. So if you're enrolled in Stickgrass biology class, it's a direct link there. Go to Friedrich Biology. Here's another website that we do. There we go. Some links there, classes that she teaches. Lamides U.S. History. There's the class by Joe Dzik, AP Chem. They're all represented here. So you have an opportunity, if you're having trouble, let's say, in chemistry, you can explore chemistry. But that's the other thing I wanted to show. So that's the basic rundown of my website. And it's all free. It's no big deal. I want to make it available to anybody. So please feel free to use it. Thank you.